Shamima, what's your position? I mean, look, that's something that we've been talking about in studio. Samson joined us to contribute briefly, but for many Ghanaians, they ask the question, where is the middle class? Why are they
Mm.
silent?
Very well. So I only caught Manasseh's part of Manasseh's contribution. So I don't know what has been said so far. So for me, I think that I would go. I would move a bit backwards from where is the middle class to who is the middle class and what do we expect from that middle class? Because I think that to move forward substantially, there's got to be a clarity. Because you said most Ghanaians are asking, where is the middle class? Who are these most Ghanaians? Are there elements of middle class in these Ghanaians who are asking? Those Ghanaians who are asking, what are they doing themselves? How have they defined themselves? Because obviously, it won't be the political class that is asking where is the middle class. So these Ghanaians that want to know where the middle class are, where are they themselves, and how do they categorize themselves in the scheme of things? So I think that contextually, we must know that the idea of the middle class became a buzzword in the early part of this 21st century. Okay, and historically, to become part of the middle class, it was measured by a certain minimum income, and that's all it took to be considered middle class. Of course, that is not what pertains today. The middle class was viewed as the class that would be the pot of gold at the end of the light at the end of the tunnel, basically, because we're thinking that, and the literature is rife with thoughts and knowledge about how the middle class can and actually did contribute as a driver to economic, social, and political development. There are assumptions underlining this conception of middle class that, well, they are mostly educated, they are on an upward mobility strand, they are mostly well informed, so they are knowledgeable. And the assumption is that if you are knowledgeable, then you understand governance better, then you understand politics better, then you understand the social economic milieu with which you live and work and operate in better. And so you understand what needs to be done and how it should be done. And so you're in a better state to be able to point out wrongs of the ruling or political class so that our collective resources are put to a more optimal use so that politics, which continues to be the overarching vehicle that drives us to the promised land, that politics delivers a life of dignity to the majority of its citizens and ensures that social services, education, health, development outcomes reach every corner of our society. Unfortunately for us, I think that the problem with this middle class hasn't quite delivered, in the way that the theorists envisioned that they would deliver this accountability. And that is not without saying that middle class members will not be aligned. In our current situation, we have middle class, which is loosely defined as mostly people within the formal sector. But we have now known that using that income indicator doesn't work because many people within this category of middle class have not been able to pull themselves to prosperity as a result of the poor economic conditions. So you might even see somebody within an informal sector who is doing better and well, a market woman at Makola who perhaps has no benefit of formal education might be more well versed in understanding the economy and being very responsive to the changing types of the economy. So for me, our middle class is beyond just our educated class. It includes our informal economy actors, most of whom may not have had a certain level of education, but are well aware about the economy and its effects on what they do. So, having said that, my next understanding of the problem with our current middle class, if you are asking where they are, now that we know who they are, is to say that the issue of values, the issue of integrity, and the issue of conscience ensures that the tides and weights and waves of conscience come just like the sea. So we will periodically in our history have a wave of conscience that would wake up a mass of people who will rise up and make demands. And when the tide recedes, that conscience goes away with it until the next wave comes along. That's how I have seen it. And if we're asking where they are now, Manasseh has given us examples, and something has also spoken about it. The fact is that at every point in time, as individuals, and we all have to come back personally to reflect on how we ourselves engage our society and what informs our engagement. I think for us as media, we have conceded that, especially within this current dispensation, as we have experienced with other dispensations, but within this current dispensation, there seems to be a more critical attack on the media and media freedom. We have held programs where we ourselves have confessed to be self-censoring as a result of the attack, perceived and real, that we think we receive from government agents when we seek to hold them accountable. So, if the middle class is suffering the same disease, they should let us know. If they are also self censoring, they should let us know. They should also let us understand what is informing their self censoring. Are they self censoring now because they have food in their mouth and they are now aligned, which is what we do. Because my understanding of our middle class, as I have defined it, is people who are mostly aligned. We don't have a homogeneous group. They are mostly aligned by heart to a certain political regime and dispensation, or they are aligned by interest to that regime or dispensation. And those attachments, we don't, and they come in different forms. Because at the end of the day, every human being wants to prosper. But then there are voices of conscience who, irrespective of their heart alignment or interest alignment, because everybody is working within this space for prosperity. Whether you are a person of faith, you want that your church will survive, your members would work and get money and come and pay their tithes. Whether you are a member of civil society, you want a system that allows for you to be able to express yourself, that will take and use some of your research findings. So
Okay.
somehow we are all interconnected and we are all linked. But we are fast dissipating on values. Values meaning that even if you are aligned by interest and by heart to a certain dispensation, that you are still able to speak truth. So if you're a member of Occupy Ghana yesterday, and you spoke specifically about specific things of corruption, of wanton dissipation of public resources, of poor infrastructure, if you were able to vocalize the fact that you work so hard like a bull in this country and you expect your president, who is the leader, to also work equally as hard to deliver on the social contract he has with you, that same voice of conscience should tell you, even if you have become an appointee of this government, if you are not able to vocalize these same things publicly, it should still be able to tell you at a point if you think that things are going way out of the context with which you thought coming in would lead to you contributing, because I want us to also agree that we are not saying that once you have criticized a certain political dispensation, then you cannot make yourself available to the political dispensation that your criticism favored.
Okay.
Because we are the same people who are asking that people who think they have skills, they have capacity, good people should offer themselves for public service. So that space exists. Otherwise, what are we talking about? So we need clarity in terms of our expectations of this middle class. We don't expect them to only be vocalizers and criticizers, but we want them to also come in and work to change what they criticize. But I'm saying that now, if you find yourself in a system that your criticism favored, the outcome of which favored a certain system, and you find the same ills, you find the same wrongs, and you think that you have drawn attention, you have tried to change the situation, and it's not changing, then you owe it to yourself to resign from that system as a matter of principle.
All right, Sharima.
But you
Please